I find that I often become bored with my Minecraft worlds. Playing for a month or two, getting all the best gear, building the same house before, I give up, and I restart in a brand new world, over and over. So, to try and solve this and challenge myself, I will be surviving an entire year on one Minecraft world, slowly updating the game as the year progresses. The 1.14 Village and Pillage update revamped villages with new generation and trading, as well as adding pillager raids that the player can fight off. It also added a lot of new decorational blocks and new mobs. First things first, I unpacked all the shulkers from last month's beach episode. Then I packed them right back up with some supplies for an enderman farm. Since I finally got name tags last month, I can finally make one. I need it, man. Look at my tools. That shovel is basically in the ICU. I used a shulkercraft tutorial with some banging music, and I got everything I needed. Being rich is so nice, because I didn't have to go more than 5 blocks to get everything I needed for the farm. By the way, this update changed a lot of the textures, and everything does look smoother. I'm not really a fan of it, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. I headed down the nether highway and into the end. I'm going to build it right by the spawn platform for ease of access, which I don't know why I haven't done in other worlds, but I just got the idea to do it in this world. I use this neat little trick to get down and then bridge out with leaves. Whoa, this is disorientating. Reminds me of the upside down from Stranger Things. What a view. Okay, let's get to work. Do you think I blend in? If there was an Enderman nightclub, would my fake ID work? I think so. People tell me I look pretty old for my age. I was making the Enderman trap, but then I realized I need to actually name the name tag, and I forgot to bring an anvil. Thankfully though, I'm super rich and I just have 64 extra iron on me at all times. I've been a poor man, and I've been a rich man, and I take being rich every time. I got the endermite, finally, after 1,000 tries, but then I forgot to name him. There we go. Second try is the charm. Look, everyone left. I wonder where they went. I got all my tools mended and also added this safety fence and then headed home. It's so brutalist, I love it. It's just a monolith. I cleaned up the end island a little bit and then jumped into the portal, which spat me out of the beach town. It's nice to visit here again. Still super proud of this place. After making it home, I made a banger helmet, then I kinda just wandered around the base, not really sure what to do. I have a bunch of ideas, but none that really stuck out to me. I do eventually want to turn Ravine Town into a village, since villagers just got updated, but I'm not feeling up to it yet. So for now, I just made a road out there and prettied up the whole area. After that, I chopped some trees in the grove, but by the end of it, my axe was almost dead, and it doesn't have mending. So I went over to the Stonewood village to experiment with a new trading system and try to get a mending book. After heading over, I found out that all the villagers are just basic, unemployed ones now, so Dr. Traors was lost among them. It's not that big of a deal though, it just kinda sucks. I made some librarians and tried to experiment with them, but they just wouldn't reset their trades for some reason. I was about to give up until suddenly he reset. So I re-rolled a bunch of times, but I had no luck, since he quit re-rolling after a while. I think they're only allowed to reset their trades during the midday, which is fine. There isn't any overtime here, so I don't blame him for not wanting to work more than his 9 to 5. While I waited for the next day, I went back to the castle to do some building. I finished the hallways, giving one side a port window and the other side a door, which I connected to the path system. I do plan on building something in this cove from last month. I'm thinking of a new fancy mineshaft, but I'm going to put that off for later. I prettied up the loft above the storage room, getting rid of all the bare stone walls and the dirt, and then I admired the map before calling this area good for now. The next time I got on, I started carving out a new room in the castle. This one will be a bedroom, so that I don't have to sleep in this musty corner of the storage room anymore. I tried my best not to mess with the redstone inside the walls. Then, after I got the shape, I added a nice floor, and I also incorporated the castle wall texture so that it doesn't look weird in the inside or the outside of this room. I put a crossbeam in the middle to separate the rooms into different sections, Then I took a break to go try again with Mr. Villager. After many rerolls, I finally got mending. It's not a great price, but it's fine. I bought 2 of them and sent him on his merry way back to Stonewood. I mended my axe and also added some upgrades to the enderman farm before getting back to the castle to finish the bedroom. Guys, I just realized lanterns exist. This is big news. I continued decorating, even adding windows, but it was getting late. And I guess I should go to bed now, in my new bed, in my new bedroom that I made. In the morning, I went over to the ravine town and made a bubble elevator up and down for quicker access. I also got an idea to turn this little shack into a desert outpost. It's just a simple stone wall with some logs, but it works well with the vibe I wanted. I replaced the sand with grass and, ew, it's desert grass. It's kind of ugly, but it looked better than sand. After that, I added some greenery, or I guess brownery actually. But then I got distracted and terraced this whole area by the grove. I ran out of dirt, but I was loving this so much that I went back for a resupply and got back to it. I made these little waterfalls, and of course, for these waterfalls there needs to be a pond for them to come to. And of course, there needs to be a little house by the pond, too. It all looks pretty nice here. That was fun. Sometime later, I finally got around to giving the museum an entrance, after like 8 or 9 months. It's about time. Afterwards, I did some chores. I chopped trees and also filled in that hollow part of the castle that I forgot to do. You know how last episode I celebrated using up a double-chested dirt? Yeah, that was nice while it lasted. Okay, so the next big project I have that ends up taking up the rest of this week is a nether highway upgrade. I want to completely gas-proof everything and get rid of all the ugly bare netherrack bits. I also want to add custom little rooms for all the portals, like having the Heart Hotel portal be surrounded by snow. Also, I eventually want to add a railroad to connect everything, but right now I do not have the iron for that. With that being said, it was time to get to work. Now this whole thing took a lot of time, and it would be super boring to watch, so I'll just speed through it. Do know that it was a grind, so sorry if this month is a little bit shorter. I lined everything in stone bricks, which quickly exhausted my huge supply of them, so I spent a lot of time in the mines as well. I put in windows and skylights where there was open nether outside, and where it was just a tunnel through netherrack, I put smooth stone and netherrack in place of the glass. For the theme portals, I'll just show you them all. The Stronghold, the Heart Hotel, the Desert Town, and Stonewood Village. I even abducted a villager to display here. Looking back on it, I did forget to do one for Beach Town, which is kind of annoying. I was testing the new nether portals worked, so I ended up staying a night in the Heart Hotel, and the housekeeper looked a little different. Anyways, that was a lot of work. I deserve a cookie. I made sure to smelt up all the netherrack so I can turn it into bricks and not have it clog up all my chests. The highway upgrade was a grind, but it was definitely needed. I do want to build a railroad to really complete it, but I don't have anywhere near enough iron, and no, I don't want to build an iron farm either. To end off the week, I did some chores in the evening, harvested my wheat for the first time in forever, which is always a nice feeling, then chopped some trees. Alright, that's enough for tonight. The 1.15 Buzzy Bees update added Buzzy Bees with honey. Nice. Okay, so for these 2 weeks, I really want to build a village with some new villagers. Since 1.15 didn't really add anything new, I'm still just going to play with those 1.14 features that I didn't really test out the last week. Now, I don't want this to be a brutalist village torture trading hall. I want it to be pretty, and I want it to be humane-ish. I think that the desert over there is a great place to start. It's nice and flat, which is good for building, as well as any possible future raids I might want to do. Plus, I've wanted to build something over there to fill in that blank space for quite a while, and this is a good project for that. For the actual village, I liked the contrast that the outpost had with the dry grass inside and the wall and the sand outside and everything, so I'm going to build in that style, since this is still in a desert. However, first, some side quests. I made an auto sheep farm, which involved killing off most of the population in the rainbow farm, which will help with lag but was kinda sad. Then I dug into the side of this hill so that the farm is in spawn chunks, then set up an auto shearing system all by myself. Hooray! I even have water back here because I'm pretty sure it helps the grass grow faster. I think. I drug my first sheep in and set up a collection system. Then I grabbed the rest of the sheep, but then I realized that the collection system wasn't actually working. And it took a little tinkering, but eventually I looked it up and figured out I was locking the hoppers somehow, which I didn't even know you could do. But anyway, after solving the issue, it was all set up and should run in the background for whenever I need wool. Side quest completed, it was on to the village. I took a little walk over to where I wanted to build it, and I vibe with it. It's right in this little pocket of the desert where you can still see the base up close, and there's also a desert town in the distance, which is awesome. The sunsets in the desert are amazing. Starting to build, I laid down a main street sort of thing and hooked it up to what will be a central park, which will also have the village bell whenever I get one. I started on the first house using terracotta and stone bricks for the walls as well as spruce planks for the floor. It's kind of a unique shape, but it ended up working out pretty well because it gives enough space for 5 beds or workstations back there, which is good because I want to have 5 of each villager in each house in the town. This first house is for the stonemasons, and I gave it some green accents because I feel like they like green. All the houses on the main street are pretty much the same, but I did give them some unique features when I felt like they needed it. These ones have a little puddle for their brewing stands, and the fishermen have a dock that they can actually go out on. With all that done, I decided to go get some villagers so I can actually breed them while I build. I set up a rail, and I got the first 2 abducted pretty smoothly. So, you guys gonna have some kids or what? Okay, they both consent. That's good. That's good. Oh, okay. I guess not. Oh, sorry. My bad. I'll just go over here. I grabbed a few more villagers from Stonewood, but even after giving them a lifetime supply of carrots, they just wouldn't breed. Whatever, I'll just work on the village and hope it fixes itself. I made all the other houses on Main Street, which are all pretty much the same. Then I decorated Central Park with some nice big trees, some hanging lanterns, and some greenery. It's pretty, even though it's kind of brown and dead. I don't know why I like the desert grass vibe so much, but I like it. Even after all that, the villagers still hadn't bred, and I just don't know why. They have food, beds, headroom. Maybe they need a roof, but I don't think that's a thing. Just in case it was, though, I started on the roof. Well, I was going to do the roof anyway, but I guess helping the villagers possibly breed is another good reason. I just did some basic triangles, nice villager architecture style, and after I was done, I made these overhangs between the houses which I can hang lanterns on. Then I filled in that triangle part underneath all the roofs. What is that called? Oh, okay, it's called a gable. The more you know. I filled in the gables and gave them a decorational window. Main Street looks super cool. The next day on, I finished the other set of roofs and then did some more research on the breeding issue, because the villagers still had not had any babies. I found out it might be because I've been playing on peaceful mode while I was building, and turns out that was the issue. And now that it's fixed, I can start populating these houses. In the meanwhile though, while they bred, I started building a bridge across the lake to connect the town to the main base. And during the nights, I would move all the babies into their new houses. I did this for a couple nights until I had a pretty cool bridge and lots of babies. I locked in all the trades for the different professions and did some other trading. What a nice sunset. Love it. I wasn't recording, but I've been decorating the side of the village with some planter boxes and paths. And I've also set up an outline for this house and a tower too. I got 2 masons up to master level, which feels like an accomplishment, but it just unlocked quartz blocks, which I'll probably never buy. After that, I built the church. I'm almost done, but I've run out of oak and stone, so I've got some grinding to do tomorrow. The next day, after doing the aforementioned grinding, I finished the church and also built another house by the water, which will be for the Fletchers. After getting that finished, I went up into the hot air balloon to admire the world for a little bit, and I ended up spending the night up there. I woke up and watched the mob war down in the desert below me. There's so much drama. Everyone's burning alive, some of them are turning on each other. Wow. I decided I want to go adventuring today. I want to find all the new stuff I had missed out on from these updates because of having such an old world. bamboo, pandas, bees, some pillagers, and a village to do a raid in. I might also head up north to the Mushroom Island while I'm at it too. I went off towards the ocean town through the nether, since I know there's a jungle there. And once I got there, I flew north looking for some bamboo. I didn't have any luck for some reason, but I did find this desert village with a pyramid cutting right into the houses. Nice, now all I need for a raid is some raiders. Well, would you look at that. I headed over, and after finding and dispatching a captain, it was time for a raid. It was pretty easy to start since my armor and weapons are super powerful, and I made my way through the waves, from pillagers to vindicators, to ravagers and witches, and then finally to the evoker, who I sniped before claiming his totem of undying. I don't plan on farming a bunch of these, but it is cool to have a few. I continued on fighting the raiders as well as the rough terrain, which made it kinda hard to fight sometimes, and I got swarmed by the Vex in this last wave, but I fought through it and eventually I was victorious. I was the hero of the village. So I stole their bell, all their hay bales, and then dipped. 99% sure I'm never going to see him again. I got some pretty good loot from doing this, which is always cool. Now that I've checked off 2 of the things I was looking for, I decided I should just continue heading north towards where I know the Mushroom Island is. I made a few stops along the way, which included finding some stray bamboo and also an iceberg biome. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Would you do this? I grabbed some packed and blue ice while I was there, and also found a treasure map which led me to a taiga. I got to see some foxes and grab some berries, which is cool. I feel like a tourist going across the world just to see or collect these new features, but then never really care about them past that. Anyways, finally, after all those distractions, I had made it to the Mushroom Island, which I had been looking for since the start of the year. It's crazy that it's been 9 months. I could have a baby right now, but instead I'm making Minecraft videos. It feels weirdly important to finally be here, even though it's really not. There's some sort of nostalgia attached to it, I guess. Anyways, I grabbed some mycelium with my pickaxe and then jumped in the portal to head home. After such a long trip there, the nether journey was like a grand total of 2 minutes, if even that. I got home and used my hero status to get some trading done and make some emeralds. The adventure was fun, but now it's time to lock in and get this village done before the month is over. A couple houses, the tower, a farm, and some walls, and then it'll be done. So I lit a good, nice smelling evergreen candle, put on some music, and got to work. Finally, the village was done, and it looked good. I took some epic screenshots and then started packing up my stuff and cleaning up the chest monster. After getting that done, I did one final harvest on all the crops for the month and then traded them with my new farmers in their cute little house. Everything is done in the village now, so here's a little tour. Welcome to the village tour. Walk up and you go along this beautiful bridge. At the end of the bridge you get to this little intersection. Left and right, and then down the middle you have Main Street, which has a bunch of different terracotta houses for a bunch of different professions. Going back to that middle area, going to the left, it takes you to this back area where we have the church. Inside we have our clerics. Nice little cathedral kind of thing with a chandelier. And going up here through the ladder takes you all the way up top to the tower, where you can see most of the village, and there's also a cool flag up here. Coming out, you get this little nice garden area, and this tower is for the leather workers. It's small because I only need 2 of them because I don't really care about the leather workers. Jumping up here, once again, is just another little tower to view the town from. You got this little dock with a desert theme area where you can see out into town. And in here you have Fletchers. Sorry, I forget what they're called. Going through this little back area, this little side trail, leads you around the back of the church and over to this other street, which is home to a lot of golems as well as librarians. Going out here to the other end of Main Street, it takes you out to this little circle plaza area. You can see the desert town from right here. And going over here, once again, the Central Park, and this is the farmer's house. And of course, the farmer's house needs a farm and a cat. This is our Central Park area with our town bell. Just really completes the whole village. Finally, what would have been the right path leads you to the last few houses. This one is for the butchers. Kind of cramped, but it does have its own little custom fireplace, pizza oven, whatever you want to call it. And in the back is room for what would be animals, but I don't have any in there. There's a cute little camping setup thing outside, and a lot of iron golems. And finally, we get to the map people, the cartographers, who have their own little map of the village, which is a nice touch. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire tour of the village. Super proud of this place, turned out super well. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Thank you all so much for watching. It was a good month. Sorry the video came out so late. See you guys next month for the Nether update. Goodbye.